Trisha didn't disappoint you. Here you go.
That's the word, right?
Yes. That's the word that comes to mind.
When I think about riots, it's because my brother was old enough and he told me things that people were rioting, setting cars on fire, stealing things. Looked outside and you just see there, like everyone acting like an animal, like trying to get things and it's just doing criminal things.
When I think about the LA riots, I think about all the lives that were endangered. You know, civilians, police officers, firefighters, there was not a police presence. The upper echelons of the LAPD in '92 pretty much dropped them all. A few pictures of Korean store owners actually getting there with weapons. You know, the Koreans were so prepared to fight for their stores.
From the Korean community's point of view, I think they saw it more as like, riots, it was like it's violence. And then I believe from the African American community's point of view, it's a completely different perspective. Like, the African American community has obviously been through a lot, and they've been here longer, they've been through more oppression.
So you're familiar with the Sunjadu and Natasha Hutchins?
The way they put it on the media was kind of twisted, I think, because all they showed on tape was her being shot. But then there's a lot of footage before Natasha was actually shot that is significant. It's easier, I think, to target the Asian community because they're more passive.
But we have a long history of white racism, white supremacy, and that history has damaged all people of color in their understanding about the country and about ourselves. But Koreans have to come to acknowledge, like a great variety of black people have acknowledged, that our country has been doing this to us for 300 years.
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, it's just the news clips on TV, it's buildings burning, or the Bonnie King meeting.
After the Rodney King trial, the LA kind of exploded. I know there was a sense that, it was kind of the WASP community, that let the police off. I just remember seeing images on TV of looting and pillaging, and police with, the shields, and I don't remember the exact area, maybe downtown, but also like Koreatown, and a lot of small businesses were affected.
And you think criminal justice can have improved?
It's changing.
In terms of, no?
I don't think it's changed.
In the light of this 20th anniversary, one of the things that has to be changed is the violence of America. The violence of the speech, the violence of thinking that other people are not as good as the rest of us, and the violence of the fist or the gun or the drone. Violence itself is one of the enemies of the human family. So as we celebrate this 20th anniversary of 1992 explosions, we should commit ourselves to getting rid of our own violence.
20 years ago, April 29th, a lot of people got hurt when riots broke out in Los Angeles. Police and firefighters left the city behind, and it brought out the worst of the city you can imagine. There were arsons, lootings, and violent assaults. 53 lives were lost, 2,000 people were critically injured, 2,000 businesses were destroyed, and almost $1 billion of property damages incurred. These tragic events were being live broadcast by local and national media, and that's how most young Angelenos came to know about the riots. But did the media tell the whole story? Do people know what really happened? Our panelists will answer these questions today. I'm going to introduce panelists. As I introduce panelists, please come and sit in your chair. First of all, to introduce Mr. Jino Lee, Radio Korea. Mr. Jino Lee. Mr. Lee is one of the few homegrown ethnic journalists. What I mean by that is the most reporters working in Korean ethnic media trained the journalism, received their journalism training back in Korea, but he actually entirely had all the media experience in LA. Jino Lee is currently executive news director of Radio Korea in Los Angeles. As a reporter, he covered the 92 LA riots from the front line. During the 90s, he extensively covered the criminal activities targeting Korean businesses in South Central too. Since then, he has worked in the various Korean ethnic media in LA, including KBS, SBS, and the Korea Daily. He immigrated from South Korea in the 1980s and holds a bachelor's degree in history from Cal Poly Pomona. His daughter has recently got accepted in University of Missouri School of Journalism and Emerson College, but she is also considering CSUN journalism. So, good. Hope she comes. All right, next panelist is Karen Slade. Karen Slade. Slade is a vice president, general manager of KJLH. It's a black ethnic radio station owned by Stevie Wonder. Joy, love, and happiness, right? Karen Slade went to Kent State University majoring in telecommunications and received MBA from Pepperdine. KJLH has received many awards, including George Foster Peabody Award for significant achievement and NAACP Image Award for humanitarian broadcast effort in 1993. Especially Radio Korea and KJLH won Golden Mic Award jointly for simulcast radio reporting on LA riots. And she agreed to join this panel, so really, really appreciate it. Ruben Tapia, Mr. Tapia. He's a community radio journalist. He's been a host and producer of one-hour radio magazine show called
Enfoque Latino.
For 26 years. And KPFK Radio Pacifica in Los Angeles. He's a freelance reporter and producer for Radio Bilingüe, Noticiero Latino, Edición Seminaria Linea Abierta for 20 years. I can't believe this. Gracias. He received various fellowships and awards, including NPR, USC, Annenberg School. Most importantly, during the riots, he saw everything from the ground zero, because he lives in South Central. And he witnessed everything that other people couldn't see because of curfew and other things. Now, I have one more panelist. This is his chair. Okay. K.W. Lee, please. It's my honor. Okay. Oh, I see.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay. K.W. Lee is very well-known, renowned journalist. So actually it will take too much time to introduce everything he has done, but briefly he's my Korean-American role model who showed me it is not impossible for someone born in Korea can become a journalist in America. He is everything that I wanted to be and has been an inspiration for many Asian American journalists. He received journalism degree from West Virginia University and master's degree from University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. He covered various civil rights struggles in South, early 60s. You can guess his age, but please don't. Kingsport, Tennessee, Times News. Then Charleston Gazette in West Virginia. Then he moved to a newspaper called Sacramento Union in Sacramento, California. And he covered the Choi-Soo Lee case where his year-long investigation led to overturning of Choi-Soo Lee's murder conviction, and Choi-Soo Lee was released in 1983. And in 1990, he moved to LA to become an editor for Korea Times English edition. His publication was the only printed voice of the Korean community during the riots. So, and there are too many awards to mention, so I'll just stop right there. Is that okay? Okay, so you give me a moment. I will start with Mr. Jin-Ho Lee, and he has a